What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Jets franchise. We have episode, I believe, 17, and we are in our second offseason now. And I wanted to stop here. I usually get to the offseason once we lose or we're out of the playoffs, but we actually had quite a bit of Pro Bowlers, and we also have a storyline. So I figured we'll just start off here, and this is where we'll pick things up. So first, let's take a look at the Pro Bowl roster, okay? We had some guys make the Pro Bowl. First one, Breece Hall. Very much deserved. British Brooks also gets in there. We did not have a receiver make it, but almost our entire line. We have Fashanu, who I just got done talking crap about. We have Titman, Vera Tucker, and Membu, who I also just got done talking crap about in the last video. And yes, I'm recording this at the same time. I have like an hour or so before I have to leave, so I figured why not just get some more recording out of the way, make it easier on myself later. Defensively, we also had quite a few guys. We had Quincy Williams make it. We also had Quinnen Williams. I don't know. Oh, yeah, that's who am I? Quinnen Williams right here. I was looking at the wrong one. Quincy Williams did not make it. Instead, Jamian Sherwood made it. We did not have anybody else, though. So those are the only few guys. So most of our offensive line, a couple of defenders, and our running back. And next thing I want to do is take a look at this player recognition and see what this has in store for us.
The top prize in the NFL is the Lombardi Trophy, but some individual hardware is pretty nice to end a season with too. Today, one of their players has a reason to celebrate.
Just saw your message as I was walking by. How's it going? Not going good, man. We just got our asses kicked. Seeing everyone celebrating this week, I was looking back at all the great performances this year. What do you mean? Garrett Will? Oh! Incredible year. I'd like to do something special for him. Okay. He does deserve the recognition. Here we go. Approval play. Oh, we got a big increase in player approval. And he got 4,500 XP. So now our player approval is up to 91. We're working our way up. The media's starting to like us. Fans, they're not as mad at us. We brought the Jets to the playoffs. You can't be that mad at us. You know what I mean? But anyway, I also wanted us to check out the yearly awards. We haven't even looked at that this year. And let's see who is up for winning trophies. So, Joe Burrow is set to win the MVP. Patrick Mahomes right behind him. Josh Allen. Did we have anybody? No, we did not. Coach of the Year. We were up there. We were number 4, but John Harbaugh is going to be the winner of that. And now over to our side of things. Offensive player, of course, Joe Burrow. Defensive player, Max Crosby. Offensive rookie, Nathan Barkley, you punk. He beats us in the playoffs, and then he also beats Joey Bates out for the rookie of the year. There is definitely a rivalry here. Screw Nathan Barkley. Look at that, though. Taj Bryant somehow ended up at number 7 and Pat Allen. So I guess that's pretty cool to see. A little surprised to see them up there. Eddie Staton is going to be the defensive rookie of the year. Shaden Shepard was up there at number 4, but not enough to get it done. Best quarterback, Mahomes. Weird how Burrow is winning offensive player of the year and MVP, but not winning best quarterback. I can see that in real life because they want to sort of divvy things up, but like in a computer simulation, you would just think it would be the same person, but hey, whatever. Ashton Genty is winning best running back. Breece Hall was number 3. Best wide receiver was Ladd McConkey. Garrett Wilson was number 4. Our whole line made the playoffs, but none of them are up for offensive line of the year. That makes sense. Defensive line, Will McDonald is number 6. Linebacker, Sherwood is number 4. DBs, Travis Hunter is winning that. Okay. Shaden Shepard is down here at number 9. And kickers is Cam Little. Okay. We'll check out the NFC quick. Devontae Smith for the NFC Offensive Player of the Year. Derek Brown for Defensive Player of the Year. Nick Orton, another quarterback for the Rams. He is winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. Defensive Rookie, Russell McClellan for the Vikings. Best quarterback is Michael Penix Jr. Well, that's different from our real world. Barkley, best running back. Devontae Smith, best receiver. Elton Jenkins for the offensive line. Derek Brown for the defensive line. DeMarvian Overshawn for the linebackers. Cooper DeJean for the DBs. And then we got Jake Elliott at kicker. So that'll wrap up the yearly awards. And we left off last with a loss, of course, so we are in the offseason. I'm going to go ahead and get us to that offseason. And we'll also take a quick look through the playoff. Actually, we'll do that now, since you guys can't really see what's going on. So the playoff bracket went down as follows. You can see it's the Rams and the Ravens. That's sort of a good matchup, honestly. So the very next week, the Browns got bounced by the Ravens. The Texans beat the Raiders. And then the Ravens, of course, beat the Texans. Over in the NFC, it was the Eagles winning against the 49ers, the Rams against the Cowboys, and the Lions against the Falcons. And then in the divisional round, it was the Rams, of course, again. The Packers, it was Packers-Rams in the championship, and the Rams took it away by 1 point. So that will be the matchup, the Rams and the Ravens. Now let's go ahead and we are going to get in. We're going to get past this week, and then we'll do like upgrade players and stuff. I just want to get to Phil's staff, and I think that's also where we're going to be doing re-signings. So we had no changes in our staff. So here we go. Let's take a look and see what our team did. I feel like we should have gotten at least 1 or 2 development trait changes based off of like the Pro Bowl appearances and stuff. So let's see what happens. All right, so first let's take a look and see what we got. So Breece Hall jumped up to superstar. That is awesome. That is definitely deserved. Nothing else changed here. We now know that Fowler is star. Same with Pat Allen. He is also star. Wilson, I believe he was already superstar, if I'm not mistaken. I'm like 99% sure. Yeah, he was already that. I don't know why I second guessed that. Kayshon Boutte retains his star development, which is awesome. No changes outside of that, though. Philip Mann is, well, we knew he was star. Defensively, we had some changes, though, boys. We had some changes. Asante Samuel is superstar. I think he already was. But we have both Brandon Thomas and Vantrese Pitts as superstar. They were hidden development. They both come out looking really good. That is... We might have some changes to make here in the near future. If these guys are superstars, we got to get these guys on the field. Jermaine Johnson still at superstar. McDonald at star. Sherwood moves up to superstar, and Quincy Williams goes up to X Factor. And then Jaden Hicks goes up to star. He was normal. And then we also found out that Thurman Broyles is only star, which it's unfortunate, but hey, you know, it is what it is. But overall, a very good season when it comes to development traits changing, because we got a lot of good roles for us. We have a lot of color on the screen that is not that bronze color, which it means that we have a lot of good players that will develop much faster. Super excited for that. Yeah, so I feel like our defense is on a very good track. We did have some regression. I fixed Joey Bates. Keep that in mind, guys. There's a bug again. Go figure, another bug. Madden has quarterbacks losing development trait, or not losing development trait, losing statistics. So I had to fix it. But Joey Bates, after 1 season, where is it here? Progression history. He lost that. Why? No idea. But I went and fixed it. I am probably going to go around and do that for the other teams as I go through them. I'm not going to do it all at once, but like as we play the games against them and maybe a couple of the teams at a time, I'll go through and I'll check and make sure I make the adjustment back, because that's not fair to anybody. Why would you lose that? Why is that a thing? You know, like it's just stupid. They did that last year, I think, with safeties. It's just such a dumb thing. But anyway, overall, I'm happy with it. I don't think we had too much regression really. Fant, I think, no, Fant was still there. Yeah, no, that didn't change. Defensively, I wonder if, I don't think Ed Oliver or Williams dropped at all. I don't think Ed Oliver would have yet. Yeah, no, he just gained superstar. I will go through. I think Quincy Williams did get hit a little bit, which makes sense. I mean, he's 31 now. Yeah, he lost a little bit, which I'm not going to go back and change that, because, I mean, he's 31. I have it set that way for a reason. He's just losing a little bit of his edge, right? Which is fine. He's still serviceable. He's still an X factor. We'll be fine. But overall, I'm happy with how things have played out. And now that we're done with this, we can get on to the negotiations. So, Olu Fushanu, he wants his 5th-year option. It's $20 million. I don't know if I want I don't know if I want to pay that. I don't know what his contract is going to be. There's not a lot of guys like him where he's under 25 and already off of his off of their rookie contract to know what their their market is right now. Who got drafted with him? Let me check that. Okay, so I looked around. I cannot find anybody that's similar to him. I also feel like because he's a left tackle, he might end up fetching quite a bit of money. I also am not very happy with him, even though he made the Pro Bowl. But I don't think it's smart for me to turn this down. Under 20 million, I feel like it's going to be more than that next year when I have to re-sign him. This would give us another year at less than 20. He's top 18 now. He's probably going to... He might be top 10 by the time we talk next year. He's now superstar development. Our team's getting better. Yeah, I feel like this is a no-brainer. I guess... not really a no-brainer. Like, I've had to think about this. But looking back on it, I feel like I just have to accept it. It's going to drop our money quite a bit. Because I think now we're down to like 25 million left. This is another tough one here. Kayshon Boutte. Man. He is not happy with us, even though we made the playoffs. Our last contract to him was 3 years, 24.9 million. That was our last offer. He's asking for 24.7. So we're a little bit more than what he wants. He wants 12 million in a signing bonus. What was I offering him? I was offering him the same. We have Arian Smith, obviously Garrett Wilson. That's just de facto. Well, we have Garrett Wilson, right? We know that. But outside of him, we have Arian Smith. We have Taj Bryant. We might have another receiver after this draft. And even McMillan, if he doesn't go somewhere, if we keep him, I don't know. But like, I don't want to overpay for the man. You know what I'm saying? If he does not want to be here, I'm not going to pay him 30 million to stay here. Especially considering we have other guys. Not that he hasn't been awesome. I love Kayshon Boutte. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to offer him a little bit more. That's it. Okay? I'm gonna go over here. I'm going to go to neutral. This is what he's asking for. If I go to player friendly, it goes up to 38 million because it's 4 years. Let's see. It pretty much gives him about another half to 3/4 million a year. I'm going to offer him this. Okay. I'm going to offer him this. But at 3 years. Because that keeps the amount of money around the same. But it gives him the years he's looking for to see if... Because sometimes they care about how many years it is. Sometimes they don't want to be locked up too much. Like, he might want to still get another contract before he hits 30. And at this pace, he'd be 29 in his last contract. Might be a little harder for him to get one last payday. So I'm going to offer him this. Okay? This is 3 million more than he wants. It's almost 2 million more signing bonus than what he wants. And if he doesn't take this, I don't know. I tried. You know what I mean? He took it. Okay. Whew. I mean, I didn't. I was ready to move on without him, but I didn't really want to. You know what I mean? And then we have Will McDonald. This is another tough one. So we have 36 million left right now. Our previous offer was 2 years, 22.8 million. He is asking for 2 years, 23 million. So about the same. It's nice that he had a good season, but he is 28. So let's go to neutral. So it raises both a little bit for neutral. 6.2 and 5.3. We don't really have an option though if I don't sign him. Let me offer him this. Offer him 5.5 and 6.2. You know what? He just had a really good game, a really good season for us. Let's make it 5.6. I'll do that. I'll give him a little extra bonus. So that gives him like another, like, I don't know, $600,000 bonus. If he likes that, great. Okay, so we keep Will McDonald. Okay, those were the two that I was really worried about. Was those two? I don't care about Ojabu. He can go bye-bye. Will Shepard. No, I mean, he's a 73 overall, but I'm not paying you that much money, dude. I haven't even seen you play. I can't. I just can't. I think I'm ready to bow out on DJ James. Daniel Jones, I think we're fine. Well, I'm not really fine with keeping Brady Cook. I don't know how much better Daniel Jones would be for us, but he's a cheap option right now. And if he wants to come back, why not let him come back, you know? Let's just go neutral and see if he takes it. He does. Perfect. Got to get a couple of neutral contracts under our belt to help spread the wealth around. Kendrick Green, no, we are going to be letting him go. I like the guards we have. I'll probably bring in one more, whether that's undrafted or something. So we're going to let him go. Jalen Mills is the last one. No, we're going to let him go as well. There. Okay. We got it done. We figured it out. We know who we want. We know who we don't want. We got that part done. I'm happy with that. So we did not have any changes. I'm not making a change to our coaching staff. I think our coaching staff did pretty well last year. I don't think it was really a matter of issues with us, the coaching staff. I think it was just more so the team still trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? The players still trying to grow a little bit. So I don't want to make any changes to Zach Parker or Cameron Kelly. I mean, Kelly's been good for us, so I'm not mad at that at all. We do have 2 new messages. No, the Packers. Yeah, okay. And that's the thing too. I don't know who's in being free agency. We might have a lot of good players that we want to go after. But overall, I am sort of happy with where we're at right now. Let's take a look at the college players and see if we know enough about them now. I think we do have quite a bit of more information. Oh yeah, we do. We have a lot of information. Okay, let's take a look. So we don't have anything on quarterbacks or running backs. I did not scout them because I just don't need to. We don't have anything on fullbacks. Wide receivers, we know a ton of. So let's see now. We can find out about, what's his name? There was that guy. What the heck was his name? If he was good or not. So we know that the top few guys are good. Devin Marshall, Justin Wynn, and Javier Beltran both are all going to be very good. Rod Ziegler is a guy that I did not see going in the mock draft. Unless I'm crazy. Am I crazy? Let's check the mock drafts again. See if I missed one. There's an updated one. Okay, so we're just waiting on the last one in the offseason. Let's take a look here again. Nothing changed up top here. Eli Stein jumped up 2 spots. Orlando Pounds now going to the Bears. That is interesting. Let's see. Trent Baker, Corey McAdams, Devontae Kelly, Zane Phelps, Nathan Forbes, Justin Wynn fell spots, so did Forbes. Philip Castile, a running back, jumped all the way up to 18. Now, the Commanders, who were initially going to take Pounds, have changed course, and they want to go with Kentrell Peak, right? And they're going to let Pounds go to Chicago, and they're going to come back for a running back in Philip Castile. That's not a bad move if it plays out for them like that, because Castile is still a good pick. We don't know what his overall is, but he is around 1 to 2 talent. So you would assume usually a halfbacks, they don't have too many misses on them. Eduardo Soto is going to the Falcons. Carson Houston. Where are we picking now? We're picking number 24. They still have us taking Terrell Merritt just because we have him on our favorites, but that's whatever. I'm not worried about that. What I want to see is, I sort of felt like all the players up here were already out of range. Except of anybody, I would have considered trying to trade up for Kentrell Peak if he was still going later in the first round. And as you can see, it makes sense. He's a top 5 talent, which also makes sense why he jumped up the board. So now we have the 24th pick. I'm not against this. A whole run on linemen, which is fine because we didn't plan on really going after them. And then we have a couple more linemen. Javier Beltran is still going at the back end here. I'll have to see what his stuff is. If it makes sense to take him that early. It's round 1 to 2 talent, so I don't know if he's the best to take there. A third running back, DeAndre Kramer, jumping in here to the first round. He was in the second round, going to Houston. Interesting. Devin Marshall is way back here. Now, again, I like the receivers, right? But I have every receiver that's 6 foot and under in this entire league on this team. So even though Devin Marshall is here, I'm very hesitant to go for him. That's where I'm at. Josh Jaramillo is going here. So we don't have any really of the guys that I had sort of considered up front going right now. So now looking at the receivers here, we know that Ziegler is an option, but he's, again, 6 foot. Devin Marshall is an option. He's 5'10". It's tough, man. It's really tough to make the calls on this, because if there's another player, like maybe we can find somebody else down here. So no. Derek Hill's 6 foot again. Oh my God. Let's see. Here's Dexter Wall. This is the guy that I looked at before, and we did the scouting on, or no, we didn't do the scouting on, but I favorited him. 6'4", 233. He's 21. He's around 2 to 3 talent. So we know he's not as top flight as the other guys, but he is what I want, right? Which is 6'4". I want a tall guy. Like, let's look at a guy like Javier Beltran, and let's see, is this guy, he doesn't have the best physicals, right? He is 6'3", 234. So he's going to be probably a little bit slower, right? Just like Wall. A, catching traffic. B, release. C, catching. C, medium. C, stamina. Injury is D to F. Short route and deep route are better. So that right there, it's like, if I know I can get a guy that's not as talented based on the draft results a little bit later in the draft and focus on other positions up here, and he's got better injury, which we know has been more of a factor this year, or in this Madden, and it's not even that the ratings are that much different. I feel like it'd make more sense for me to hold off and wait until later on in the draft to take somebody. Let's see if there's anybody down here in the UDFAs. Not really. I mean, there's a couple of day 3 guys we could take a flyer on later on if need be, but I feel like Dexter Wall might be the guy that we want to target. That's what I want. I want a tall receiver. Okay, sue me. Let's see. What else do we know? We have some guys for defensive ends, and it's not looking good, guys. Day 3s for everybody. There's a rounds 3 to 4 down here. Tom Piercy. Eric Gabriel. Round 1 to 2. I think he's going before us, though. Both of these guys are. Oh, man. Mateo Ray is not very good. Rounds 2 to 3. Yeah, there is nobody at edge. What the hell, man? Okay, here we go. Some information on linebackers now. So these guys are all just right where they should be. Nothing bad or overly good about them. Mike, linebacker. We know Newman is a rounds 1 to 2 talent, and we know Casey Johnson is rounds 2 to 3. So Newman is the better backer of the two. And then at will, Gerard Garner is not as good as his projection. And we don't know anything about the corners. I really want to do that to Merritt because I feel like he might be good. And we don't know anything about safety. So that is where we're at. We don't have a lot of information, but at least it gives us a clearer picture on some of the key positions that we were looking at. And now we can go ahead into free agency with a little bit more clear intention, if you will, now knowing what we have in the draft. Well, look what we have here, folks. We have some studs in the free agency market. Aiden Hutchinson and Kyle Hamilton. Both, for some reason, want to play for the New York Jets. We also have Rashee Rice. But I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to. No. He's already 27. I'd rather bring in somebody. Charles Cross. Javon Dexter, but we don't need D tackles. We don't need running backs. So there seems to be a lot of good players in the free agency, but not any at the positions that we need. So let's go around here and let's just take a look. Anthony Richardson has been let go by the Colts. Justin Fields is in free agency. They didn't even try to re-sign him. Mac Jones, look at that. He is here in free agency. Too bad we already signed a backup because I probably would have taken him over Daniel Jones had I known he would have been available. He wanted us more money, so it's better suited that we have who we have. Tyler Shuck is in free agency already. Ouch. Ouch. All right. Now, halfbacks. We don't need any halfbacks. There's quite a few of them out here. Jeff Hagan. Who the hell is that? Do we dare replace British Brooks? Wide receivers could be interesting, but probably not. Oh, Quentin Johnston is available. 25 years old. He's 6'4". Do I decide to make a move on Quentin Johnston? See what his rating's got. 93 speed, 94 jumping. He does not like anything that has to do with us, though. The only guys who care enough to show interest, Trey Tucker, Traylon Burks, Tutu Atwell, and Ray McLeod. I'm not interested in any of these guys. It would be cool to bring in a new tackle and get rid of the guy that's pissing me off, but maybe Membu is the one that we need to look at and moving, because he's the one who's been injured like 4 times this year. I wonder what his injury rating is. All right, so I looked, and there's no difference. Like, he's got like 91 injury. He doesn't have bad injury at all. Nobody that really jumps out at me. So there is just not a lot of options out here. Is there any interest in some defensive ends for us? We have some. Well, Aiden Hutchinson, but I don't think I can afford Aiden Hutchinson. I think that alone will be more than $24 million. So he's sort of out of the equation, I feel like. I don't even know what we're going to do with all of our defensive tackles, to be honest with you guys. Like, we sort of lucked into 2 defensive tackles that are just chilling on our bench. I almost feel like we need to make a move to get them on the field. I know it sounds crazy to think, considering we have Quinnen Williams and Ed Oliver, but that's a lot of development to just leave sitting there. Devion Newman and Jose Valdez, both in free agency. Hold up here. We might have found somebody. Let's see. 86 speed. 5. Awareness is crap. Play rec is not bad for Newman. Tackling is pretty comparable. Everything is pretty comparable here. They can't cover to save their lives. Hear me out. We talked about Shaden Shepard going to free safety, right? Kyle Hamilton. Do picture our defensive backfield with Kyle Hamilton at strong safety and Shaden Shepard at free safety. That would be pretty crazy. I feel bad for Jaden Hicks, but like I said at the end of the last video, he had 2 picks on the season and they both came in the last game. Wait, no. That's not true. I'm wrong there, because that was a playoff game and those stats don't count. So he had 2 picks throughout the year, 4 if you include the playoff game. So I do feel bad for that regard. But it's Kyle Hamilton. Let me just see what it's looking like, okay? If I was to negotiate a contract with this guy, we'd probably have to do a 5-year deal to get a leg up on the negotiation process. That's $110 million going to a safety. You got to think, is that money well spent? You know? That's a lot of money for a safety. Look, he's 26, which is still young. I'm not saying he's not young. But, like, we're paying for what he already is, right? We are paying $110 million for a strong safety. Does it make sense to do that when we're already strapped for cash? We might just fully forget the free agent. There's like nothing here that I want. Before we get into really making a lot of offers, I forgot to sort of go through the team with you guys and give you my thoughts. So that's what we're going to do now. So we're at quarterback. Obviously, we're set there. There's nothing that needs to change. We're good. We just move on. Same with halfbacks. If anything, we might be letting some of these guys go. I don't know yet, but we're good here. Wide receivers is where it gets a little hairy, okay? Now, I don't necessarily want to go after somebody in free agency right now, but the draft is a different story. If I was to bring on Dexter Walls, probably going to be like a 70 to like 73-ish range, you know, depending on how strong the draft is. So that would put him right, let's just say right below Dotson. I don't think he would be higher than Dotson if he's a rounds 2 to 3 guy. Overall wise, right out of the gate. However, I do want to be able to use more of these guys. So what I'm thinking I want to do is I'm going to leave Dotson for now. But I want to try maybe moving on from Jalen McMillan. Maybe I can trade him. Maybe I can find somebody. Just give me like a 6th-round pick or something, 5th-round pick. I don't need nothing crazy for him. But then that would open up a little bit more for these guys up here. Right? And, yeah. So I think that's what I want to try to do. So that's where I'm at right now. Tight ends. Noah Fant is still better than Mason Taylor. This is a problem. This shouldn't be a thing right now. Mason Taylor should have surpassed him this year, but he did not because of lack of production, whatever it is, right? His development trait is definitely not helping. His development trait being normal is really hurting him right now. Part of me wants to bring a tight end in through the draft. We have a guy like Phil White. We have, Cam Melvin. The question, though, if we land one of them, what do we do? That I don't know the answer to. At this point, if I draft a guy at tight end and he ends up playing good, I'm not going to re-sign Mason Taylor at the end of his rookie contract. I will keep him until then, right? And I would just run Fant, Taylor, and whoever we draft. I would probably cut Brevin Jordan, but I'm very up right now on bringing more competition in. And that's not because I don't like Mason Taylor. I think he's going to be a good tight end in real life. But again, this is Madden. This is a whole different ball game, okay? Like, I've had so many instances where people get upset with me in the comments because I remove a player, I trade a player or whatever. Well, that's crazy. He's a great player. Yeah, maybe he is in real life, but this is Madden, Like, you have to, as much as I try to get away from that, you have to treat it as what it is. I'm just torn. That's all. We're not going to do anything with our tackles as much as I want to complain. The only thing I could see us potentially doing is maybe bringing in a center for the future. Nothing too crazy up front, but everything else is sort of good there. I think we're probably going to not keep Eric Watts next year. And then I think I might keep Miles Murphy and JD Reeves, especially now that I saw that there's literally nobody available in free agency. Oh, man. So we have Barron, who I want to keep, of course. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be my plan. And then these 4 guys at D tackle, unless I might, I don't know. It's very tempting for me to trade one of these guys away to let these guys play. Although they don't have the speed at which that Oliver and Williams does. Thomas has good excel, but he's nowhere near in speed. Linebackers where we really need some stuff. What in the world is that in the background? This game is so bad when it comes to like those kind of things where it's just like visual glitches when you're transitioning between screens. Like, this is things that should be cleaned up, man, before the beta, for crying out loud. Like, how are you not... How... I'm going to shut up. I'm having a good day today. One other question that I do have here is, what if we moved on from Brandon Stevens? Now, this sounds stupid, right? Hear me out. Thomas is now up to a 79. He's technically better than Asante Samuel. He's not going to start ahead of him, though. But these 3 guys should be on the field. Brandon Stevens is a superstar right now. He would save us $12 million by us sending him away. And he just came off of a great season to where we might be able to get something good back for him. Well, not good, but because you have to think about he's a 29-year-old corner. But like in just the grand scheme of things, like if there was ever a time to trade Brandon Stevens during his latter years, this is the time. He came off a good year. He had some interceptions. He's at superstar development. And he's cost us a lot of money. That would leave us Broyles, Samuels, Thomas, and Gardner, which would leave me room to either bring in a guy through free agency or bring in a guy through the draft or both. Do need a safety. So I'm going to try to find somebody at safety, whether that's, I'm not saying a starter, just somebody to fill bodies. But that's what I'm thinking. Maybe we try to move on from Brandon Stevens. And I like him. I hate even having to say that, but you have to think about the future. And right now, he's got 12 million against us. He's at the height of how good he is right now. And we have guys that have surpassed him. I mean, last year it made sense. Thomas was not on the same level as Stevens, but he's developed. And we saw this year when he got into the game, he had that big play against Judy down the field in the playoff game, and it actually, I mean, we didn't win the game, obviously, but like you saw that he could keep up. So yeah, I'm thinking Stevens is someone that we want to try to move on from. So that is my thoughts. I don't think we need to change a lot. I think we just need to draft well, bring in a few key guys for depth, and go from there. So the first trade I found that I'm going to try is trading Jalen McMillan to the Chiefs. The Chiefs do not have anybody outside of Xavier Worthy. Jalen Royals is a decent player, but he's a 74 overall. McMillan would become their number 2 immediately. And he's still only 25. And he's not expensive either. So I'm thinking of offering him for a 4th round pick, because I know he's not like any great talent, but he's a 78 overall receiver. He becomes their number 2, and he's still only 25. And he's cheap against the cap, which they need help on cap room. So I'm going to see if they'll take this. So Jalen McMillan is off to Kansas City. We get ourselves a 4th round pick in exchange for developing him a little bit and bringing him on. And I think we sort of get our pick back. I think I may have given up a 5th for him last year, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember exactly. But regardless, we get a pick back for him. We spent a pick to get him, developed him a little bit. Didn't work out. Now we send him off for another pick. I'm going to try to send Brandon Stevens to the Rams for a 5th round pick. Now, the reason for this, the Rams secondary is horrible. Their best starter is not as good as Brandon Stevens. He's a 75. So he instantly becomes their best player. Not quite sure what happened to the Rams, but they don't really have anybody. They also have a ton of cap room and stuff. So I'm going to see if they'll take this. It makes sense to me. It makes sense to them. And the reason I'm asking for a 5th, right? And not like well, I don't know if I can get a 4th from them. I'll try for one, but he is 29. I have to keep that in mind. And that's why I went with a 5th round pick. I might not even get a 5th on him. I don't know. Okay. They took it. We just got 2 4th round picks for players that we didn't have any use for. That is good trades. Alrighty. Well, now we have a lot of stuff to work with for the draft. We also have some room on the salary now, and we also have some room on the roster. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and find a few guys for minimal, like not big guys, right? Kyle Hamilton was a great idea, right? But I don't see it working out without us overpaying for him, and I don't know if it makes sense to put that much into safety. It's a little over the top, right? That's what bad teams do. That's what bad teams do. Like, you have a quarterback you just drafted, you're going to have to pay. You have other players that are starting to make a lot of plays, including 2 really good defensive tackles, some good corners. We know we're bringing in more talent this year, some receivers, running backs, and we're going to stick 110 million of it into a strong safety. And I'm not saying that it's not a good player, it's Kyle Hamilton, but in the Madden world, safeties don't always have the most impact. Like, Shaden Shepard is a beast. And look at, like, it's not like he's taking over games, right? He's making some plays here and there, but he's not taking over games. That's just not what safeties do in Madden, which is another reason why I don't think it's a good idea. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to look for a few guys just to fill in some holes, maybe a lineman, maybe a linebacker, a safety, you know, like for some depth. And then I will see you guys when I finish that list. Alrighty, folks, I'm back. And no, I did not get the chance to finish the off-season the last time I was recording, so I'm back here. I do have the list ready though, as you guys can see. So I looked through the list. I thought about Kyle Hamilton a few more times because it's been a few days now since I started this recording, and I just don't think it's a smart move. We have a lot of holes to fill in the depth area. We have a lot of talent that we could bring in. As you can see here, these are not bad people to bring in. And right off the gate, I want to explain to you why I put these guys on the list. So Tuli Tuipulotu from the Chargers. He's in the free agency. Don't know why he's in free agency, but he's a 79 overall, 24 years old. We have been having some crap from the draft classes that I've been seeing. So I'm not sure if we're going to be able to find somebody this year or not. But what I do know is I want us to have some rotation. The thing is, what I'm trying to say is we don't have a lot of committed depth that we know can step in and just immediately ball for us and play well for us. This guy essentially gives us a rotation at the defensive end position, and who knows what happens, right? He's only 24. Will McDonald is 28. There's a lot of things going on, so we don't know there yet. The next one, we are bringing in some better depth for the tackle position because last season, as I've mentioned in the last video, we've had some issues with the depth there. We've had some issues with injuries with both of our starting tackles. If we can land Broderick Jones, now I'm not going to overpay for him, right? That's why you see us as second. But if I can land a guy like this who has high interest in us to give us that depth that we really need, I think that can help us a long way down the line if we have another injury to either of our tackles. And then I found Devion Newman, a young linebacker just chilling out here. 86 speed, 86 acceleration. He's 23 years old, 72 overall. We need to get younger at linebacker. So we are going to do that with this selection here. Or not selection, this signing hopefully. And then Dwight McLaughlin, former Viking. some decent depth for us at corner. We only have 4 on the roster right now. We don't know if we're going to target one in the draft or not. This gives us the opportunity to not have to target one. We can bypass that if we want to. We have enough guys on the roster. And then I found Alejandro Arellanes. Hold on a second. I got to look up how to say this name. Alejandro Arellanes. Got it. 6'6", 253. He's a young tight end. Well, he's 24. He's not the youngest of the group for the last draft, but he's 6'6". He's 71 overall. He gives us some young depth to go into the season with, and he wants a 2-year deal, which would be helpful. I don't know what's going to happen there at tight end position yet. Right now, we have the 3. We have Mason Taylor, we have Noah Fant, and we have Brevin Jordan. Who knows? Maybe this guy squeaks out Brevin Jordan, and we can get much younger at our depth position there. So these are the 5 that I want to target right out of the gate. I do, however, I might target a fullback here. There's Jeff Hagan chilling in here, and I like British Brooks, but this man would be a 5 overall increase and quite a bit age reduction. And look at this dude's stats. He doesn't have much interest in us, but he's a fullback. He's 264. That is a big fullback. And he has a 91 lead block along with 82 trucking and 81 strength. Part of me wants to consider Quentin Johnson. Now, hear me out here, okay? I know I want to target a receiver in the draft, but we also know that we don't know if the receivers are going to be that great. Here is our current slate. Garrett Wilson. He's been awesome when he's consistent, right? He's 27. He's a 90 overall. He's our number 1. Kayshon Boutte, we re-signed him. I feel like he, at the very least, is our number 3. Smith showed flashes, but he was not consistent, right? Where Boutte seemed to be consistent when he played, Smith was more of like the over-the-top, we get 1 to 3 plays a game where he would just make a good play. Taj Bryant, his overall is getting better, but we don't know what he's going to be yet. Dotson is depth. Tullich and Bowens are projects. I don't know what's going to happen there yet. If I can't find a guy in the draft to bring in, Quentin Johnson delivers what I'm looking for. Not only is he super tall at 6'4", he also has 93 speed. He's only normal development, but he is still only 25. He could fit in very well and hopefully not be too expensive for us. So I'm considering bringing him in. And actually, now that I thought about it, I think I'm going to try to get him. So let me see if I can make it work. All right, so I found a way to include him. It's going to be a little cap restrictive. I might have to cut a guy or 2. But if we can land him, we are competing with the Steelers. He doesn't have a lot of interest in us. And this is one of those guys like him and Tui Pelotu. I just don't care. I want the guys on our team, and I'm hoping that if I can get him in the building, we can have some success. They will be happy being here. But right now, this is the group of guys. So some really good depth, if not potential starter at defensive end. Same thing with receiver. Same thing with tackle if something crazy happens. And here's another thing. If we can land this guy, right? And who knows? Maybe he goes to the Bills. We don't even win him. That's fine. But if we do win him, this also could be an answer if I decide not to pick up or re-sign Fashanu after his 5th-year contract is done, which is this season. So we'll see. Newman, I like his depth. Arianes, I like his depth as well. So these are all guys that I'm really excited about. Let's go ahead and let's see if these guys are going to come to New York or if we're going to have to go back to the drawing board. All but one has made a decision. Let's see. We got all 4. That's what I'm talking about, guys. We bring in Quentin Johnston. We have the tall receiver I've been saying we need for our young quarterback. We bring in a great tackle substitute, whether it's depth, whether it has to come in for injury, maybe even a starter at some point. He's only 26. We have plenty of time to work with him. We bring in a young linebacker and a young tight end to fill out the depth there. And now all we have to do is try to land this guy. And the one guy that I had to take off the list to make it work was Dwight McLaughlin. So let's go down here and see if I can find him again. Here he is. And let's see. We get both of them. That's what I'm talking about. We got our full free agency class right here that we were targeting. This is going to fill out our team in a big way heading into the draft. We also did bring on the fullback, Jeff Hagan, and I have released British Brooks. I put him in free agency early to see if maybe he can land on another team before the draft hits. It's just, it makes more sense. He's a better blocker. He's got a 91 lead block. He's young. It made all the sense in the world. So we bring on Jeff Hagan, second-year fullback. 264 pounds is a big man, and he moves pretty decent for that weight with 78 speed, 77 acceleration. I'm not saying it's fast, but for a fullback that's at 260 plus, that's not bad movement at all, and he should be able to push the pile for Breece Hall moving forward. Jonathan Beckett. So this was the guy that had that good story about having the most bench press. 6'3", 337. He's a pure power guard, has a motor that runs through the whistle, shows good discipline, won't get flagged as much. That is helpful when it comes to how much we've gotten flagged for holding in the past. He's 22 out of Missouri. Physicals, solid speed, solid acceleration, great change of direction, elite strength. So we know this guy isn't going to be very shifty, but running it up the middle should be helpful with him. He's a day 3 prospect. His skills, we have A to C stamina, C to F injury. We don't know what the injury is, but we do know that his stamina is pretty good. Awareness is going to be good. His run block power is awesome. Lead block is a B. We don't know much else. Everything else is pretty average, if not a little below average. But again, for a day 3 guy, not a bad option. I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to add him to the favorites list just so that we have him available if we so choose. Mike, we have a couple of guys. Derek Newman, he's rounds 1 to 2. AC Johnson is rounds 2 to 3. Both of these guys are on our list. They will stay there. We know that they have a lot of good stuff. Wait, do we have a guy named Newman already? Are we allowed to have 2 guys named Newman at linebacker? Is that allowed? Or is that like... Anyway, on to the next. Jared Garner, not the best. He's rounds 2 to 3, lower than his projection. And these guys are not anything to write home about. We don't know a lot about the UDFAs. Jeremiah Boston is okay, rounds 2 to 3. We know quite a bit about him, not everything yet. But he looks like he might have some stuff. 6'2", 236 out of LSU. Good speed, good excel, elite agility. He is top 5 in quite a few categories for the combine. A finesse move, B zone, B man, A awareness. Injury's not the best, B tackle. This is a guy that I should add to the list for later consideration. All right, let's see. Anybody here? We have Vernon Graham, who has A hit power and A play rec. Does he have anything else that is potentially good? B pursuit. Let's take a look at him. Okay, marginal, poor. Yeah, we're not gonna. Okay, so the guy can hit hard, and that's about it. Alrighty, so we have the 5th and final mock draft. Let's take a look and see if anybody has fallen, risen, in between, whatever it is, and see what happens. So now all of a sudden, Kentrell Peak is not at number 4. I saw that right away. Now Terrell Swan. Corey McAdams has flown up the charts. So it's now went from being no quarterbacks in the top 5 pretty much, now being 2 of them back to back. Jesse Guerrero now falls to the Bills, who... Guys, let's think about this. The Bills sucked this season in the sim, but I'm going to probably fix that, and now they're about to land one of the best defensive linemen in the draft. That is the rich getting richer right there, okay? Terrell Swan now going to the Commanders, Eli Stein to the Bucks, Devin Pollard to the Seahawks, Orlando Pounds to the Bears, Cantrell Peak now going to the Titans at number 8. Trent Baker still going top 15, so he didn't fall that much. Dane Phelps going to 13. I'm just trying to see. Nathan Forbes is going up to 16 to the Chiefs. That would be pretty crazy considering that they just lost Travis Kelce to retirement, if I'm not mistaken. And now they come in and take Nathan Forbes, who might end up being like the second coming of Brock Bowers. I might want to look at that guy. Maybe I need to trade for him. Like, holy cow. That guy looks like... Let's just look at this dude's stuff here. He's 6'3", 259. First in every category. Elite, good, great, good, okay. A's across the board, it looks like. The only one is his injury is a D. Stamina is a C. Run block is D. I don't care about the run blocking. This man is not a blocking tight end. This is the guy that you match up in the slot for mismatches, right? He is that guy. And everything about his receiving game is on point. A's, A, B, B, A. The guy can even truck people properly. Am I crazy for considering to move up to snag a tight end like that? Probably am. Doug Freeman falls. The Commanders have 2 first-round picks this year, and they are going to take a left tackle and a left tackle. I might have to jump in there if that's the case and change that. I'm not letting that happen. We'll see what happens during the draft, but if that happens, I'll make a different selection for them. I know that they're not going to take 2 left tackles because I will be sure of that. Justin Wynn, Sheldon Lipton is going at 23 right before us. It still has us taking Terrell Merritt. We will find out what his stats are here. I can't really change what the favorites list looks like because they don't let us do that anymore. Brian Sinclair, that center that I was looking at, has fallen down to 26. He would be an option if we wanted to go that route. Devin Marshall, Derek Newman. They have that linebacker that I was looking at going at the back end of the first round, so the Rams know what they're looking at. So that gives us a better idea of what we are dealing with now. Let's see. Let's first look through some of these players that are on my list here and just see if there's anybody that we want to consider. First one was Philip Castile. I don't think we even care about this running back at all. We already have power backs, so we're just going to move right past him. Tyrone Clifton. He dropped all the way down here. He's another power back, so we're not going to worry about that. Brandon, let's check out some strong safeties. We had 2 strong safeties. Brandon Bush and then Peter Kraus, 5'11", 208. He's got good speed, good strength, decent acceleration. B hit power, injury B to D, play rec is C, B awareness, B zone. Okay. And then Peter Kraus. Great, decent. Okay, so not the best physicals for either of these guys. Archer Brayton, I forgot to check on him. That was the middle linebacker. He's the top guy. Okay. We have 80% unlocked on him. 6'1", 238. Great speed, good acceleration. Great across the board except for strength. A awareness, A man, B zone, C tackle, C play rec. What's his injury at? Injury is A to B. Not a bad option. I mean, going linebacker here is not something that I'm completely against in the first round, especially if a guy like Derek Newman is jumping above both of these guys, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So this guy must be really good. Let's take a look at him again to see what I was... Okay, so he has elite speed and great acceleration. A hit power, injury is a C or a D. A awareness. B play rec. Block shedding is good. Man coverage is good. C's tackle and zone. Okay, so I have a feeling that this guy is just like a physical freak with some really good coverage because he doesn't have the most A's in the world, which has me feeling like he's going to be one of those guys that's like 90-something speed or something like that, which makes me want to take him in the first round. We have the option to take him if we really want to. You know, like if he's there and we really want to go that route, we have the option to do it. The question here is, are these guys worthy of a top pick? Because I'd have to probably go after one of them early. Cam Melvin especially. And then the other question that I had is, where do some of these guys fall? Like these linemen, right? We know that Brian Sinclair and Parker Stout are going early. So we would have to essentially commit to taking a center in the first round. I don't think I'm ready to do that. That's just my very honest opinion. I would rather wait on a guy like Jonathan Beckett, who we thought is pretty similar to Lipton, except not as good, but he's also a day 3 projection. So where we don't have to reach for him in the beginning of the rounds. Same for somebody like Brock Hobson, who we saw had decent physicals and decent skills. He's a day 3 guy. We don't have to reach super early. We don't desperately need a starter at any position on the line. So we have that luxury to just sort of sit and wait and see what happens. My biggest question here is the linebackers right now, because Derek Newman is going to go early. If we want him, we have to take him in the first round. Casey Johnson could also be a potential good backup. I think that Derek Newman is a much better athlete than that of Casey Johnson. He also does have better hit power, better awareness. I'm not too impressed with really anybody from this group. Also, we don't know a lot about them, but like, let's see here. Luis Nava and Sal Hess. A tackling, A awareness for both, B play rec, so those are really good. Man is B, A to B zone. Maybe I am misinterpreting here. What about Joey? I would like to get to a point where I can find somebody who is... Let's check out Joey Meyer. He's 21. So we know he's got elite excel, elite agility, elite change of direction, good speed, good strength, or solid strength. FF, stamina is bad, zone is very good, tackle very good, awareness very good. Injury is D to F for him. Luis Nava. Great, great, elite, elite. A, B, A. Luis Nava might not be a bad choice either. I would definitely have to change his face because I see that face too often. But that is a guy that I would consider. Sal Hess, also same face I see a lot. Would change that if we would take him, but regardless, it is what it is. He has elite acceleration, not as good as stuff as Nava. Right now, I know we have one position accounted for, and that is Merritt. I've been wanting to see what his stuff is. He's a day 3 prospect, but we found him to be the only guy with an A grade in coverage. And he has elite speed and great acceleration. So I want to see what this guy is. If he's worth a pick before day 3. Because we want to bring in a corner. We want a guy that maybe isn't the top flight guy, but somebody that can provide depth to us. Sort of like what we're doing right now with Thurman Broyles. But this guy's got height to him. He's got size to him. So he's 1. I almost feel like maybe we make Nava 2. And then we do Beckett, Merritt the corner, and then we do Nava the linebacker. That gives us 3 more players at different ranges of the draft to know if there's somebody that we should be targeting or not. And it also clears things up for us in round 1 to see where a lot of this talent is. Is there a lot of talent at linebacker? Is there a lot of talent on the line? So on and so forth. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to set that here. So let's go back here. We're going to go to scouting private workouts. I like that. Let's confirm that and see what we got. So now we'll go ahead and we will sim, and we can check this out and see what these guys are for talent and check things out before we get into the draft itself. Prospects. All right, let's start with the guard. Where is he? Jonathan Beckett is a 1 to 2 grade. So right there, I'm not touching a guard in the first round. We're going to take Beckett later, and we're going to make him a good player for us. We know already that he is full on strength. He's not going to be a finesse type of guy, but he's rounds 1 to 2 talent in a day 3 grade. We're putting him at the bottom of our draft board and we're taking him. We're going to try to, right? Hopefully nobody else gets to him before us, but that's what my goal is. All right, now let's go to, was it Mike? No. Here it is. Ooh. Nava is not that good. So a lot of these linebackers, because I thought he was better than all the other guys, but all of them seem to be worse off in talent than they are their projection. One of the only ones is Derek Newman, who's the opposite. Everybody else is on par or they're worse. In hindsight, maybe I could have done Brayton because he had a good story, but I feel like Newman might have to be a guy that we target. And now let's check out the corner. Merritt, he's down here. Holy shit, he's a top 5 talent. I honestly was not expecting that. I was anticipating maybe like a rounds 2 to 3 grade, just because he had the A, it's zone. But this guy is a top 5 talent at the bottom of the draft. So let me go here. Let's clean up the favorites list a little bit. Derek Newman, I feel like, is good at the top of the list. I'm going to leave Johnson there. Kentrell Peak, we're going to remove him. There's no way we can get him. And we'll definitely know if he's there on the board. Merritt definitely staying. We're taking off Castile. I don't care. We're taking off Swan. I don't care. I think now, because we know how good that one guy is, I'm not going to target a sender in the first round. So we'll take off those 2. I am so torn on these guys. I would like to target one, but I don't know if I'll be able to. Ziegler, Hills, we're going to leave those guys. I'm going to remove Lipton because we are not going to be targeting him. I will leave these two on just because they are day 3 guys that we could potentially take. We're not going to be targeting him. So as you guys can see, I'm just removing guys that I know I'm not going to go after. Like these edge players, Tremaine Clifford and Sheldon Glenn, both of them are worse off than what their grade is, and they're 23 years old. We are not wasting our time with that. Jeremiah Boston, I'll leave. Graham, I'll leave. Brayton, I'll leave. Nava, I will remove. Okay, so now our list looks a little bit better. If we sort it by this, we can get an idea of where they should be at in the draft. The only outlier here, Melvin and Ziegler and Brayton, all are not going before Newman. Newman is the top guy on this list, according to the mock draft, but that is going. So if we wanted to get a linebacker, we'd want to do it early. We'd want to do it with our first round pick, would take Derek Newman, if we feel he is the right fit for us. The other option would probably be potentially Phil White. Or we could go crazy. We could trade up, forget the linebacker, and go and take the tight end. I don't think I'm going to do that because I don't think I would want to trade up for a tight end like that. I could be wrong. This guy could be a generational player for all I know. I don't know. But what I do know is that I really like Newman, and we need linebacker help. We don't have it. The youngest decent linebacker we have is Jamian Sherwood, who I believe is 27 or 28 now. That's not going to fly. Our other 2 linebackers are 31 plus. That's not okay. So we need to bring in talent there. And the only guy that I see right now that really stands out to me that's not worse than his projection is Derek Newman, and then of course Casey Johnson. But the question is, how much better is Derek Newman than Casey Johnson? He's a full round better grade. So once again, Newman, Johnson. A awareness, Newman gets the nod. Same play rec. Johnson gets the tackle. Okay. Hit power goes to Newman. Same block shed. Power moves, I don't really care, but Johnson does get the nod there. Same thing for finesse moves. I don't really care. I don't know who gets the nod. We'll assume it's Johnson. Pursuit is better for Johnson. Man coverage is much better for Newman. Zone coverage is the same. Catching, I don't really care. Impact blocking, Derek Newman is better there. Stamina, he's better. Injury, he's better. And we know he's a physical freak because we know he's got elite stuff here. Yeah, elite speed, great excel. Let's take a look once again at Johnson. Good, solid, decent. Yeah, so he's definitely not that fast linebacker type that we're trying to probably get. So right off rip, Derek Newman is the guy. He is the linebacker in this group that we want to target. Now, if a guy like Nava falls to the second round, we know that he is rounds 2 to 3 talent. That's not a problem if we have to go after that. Same with Gerard Gardner. But the question is, why do that if we can stay put, take a guy like Derek Newman, and then we can have the best linebacker in the draft, according to what we know so far? We could be mistaken. You know, maybe somebody else is way better. I don't know. But that's where my head is at right now. And then we have to find a way to land Terrell Merritt. That man is a top 5 player. We also need to find a way to land that guard. So we have 3 really big hits that we want to hit, maybe 4 or 5. And then the rest is going to be filler. Maybe we trade down. But it's time for us to start this draft. So why don't we just go ahead and let's just dive into it and stop playing the what if game. And let's just see what happens. And hopefully we can make some cool stuff happen. Well, I have returned now for the final piece of this offseason, and if you guys want to know something funny, I've already said this twice. You want to know why? First time, forgot to hit record. Thought that was the only mistake I made. Second time, I hit record, then talked to myself for 3 minutes without this thing in front of me. So there was no audio picked up because it was behind my monitor, and it didn't help at anything. So if you guys are wondering how my week's going, that's about it right there. So anyway, we're back, and I'm finally ready to finish this gosh dang off-season off. I've been really happy with how things have turned out so far. I'm just going to take a quick recap just so that you guys can see where we are sitting right now. We have a lot of picks today, guys. A lot of more later picks, but I'm going to be doing a little bit more deep diving in between the picks to try to really find a few guys that could be potentially good, hopefully. But just for a recap for the team right now, there might be a ton of decisions we have to make because I don't know why. I sort of forgot we had so many picks. I know we had a couple of extra thirds, and I knew like I think another fourth or something, but we have a lot. This is the draft picks. We have a first round, a second round, 3 third rounds, 2 fourth rounds, 3 fifth rounds, 2 sixth rounds, and a 7th round. Now, not like we have 5 first round picks or nothing crazy, but if I can find good players or at least good players to build up, there's going to be a lot of tough decisions to make with this roster because we just brought in quite a few depth pieces, and I might have to take cuts on them. I don't know yet. Who knows what we'll find, but I'm just thinking about the amount of players we're going to bring in is going to be like, what is it? 10 picks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 picks. Now, not to say that we won't be trading some of those away to maybe move up or move down or whatever the case is, but that is how many picks we have right now. So a lot of players are going to be added to this team here very soon. I'm just going to sim. I'm going to get all the way to our pick because I don't foresee us moving forward for anybody. The only player that I would have considered moving forward or moving up for would have been a guy like Nathan Forbes or a guy like Kentrell Peak, because that is a position that we were trying to get the last 2 years, but he's way too high in the draft for me to even consider that. And yeah, so I think we're just going to sim to our pick, and then we're going to go from there, whether we trade back. I would ideally like to get ahead of the Rams because that's where the mock draft has Newman going. So if we can find a pick, obviously anywhere between 25 and 30, that would be ideal. But of course, if the trade makes sense. So let's go ahead and let's get this thing underway, huh? Alrighty, so here we are. Everything went the exact way we anticipated it would. Parker Stout and Sheldon Lipton ended up going before us. That was the guard, one of the guards that had a good story, and then the center that I saw, I think that was the guy's name that I saw earlier in the season that was like pretty good all around, that I thought could play guard or even tackle if need be. So I'll be interested to see what his overall is after this is over. I want to get Newman, and then I just sort of want to see where things go. So that is what we're going to do. I'm going to take a look here, and let's see if there's any trades that we can make to fall back a little bit and maybe pick up an extra pick, because there are so many guys in that day 3 range that are good prospects. I want to know that we have enough capital around that mid-round pick to make moves or to trade up, or just to have a plethora of them to have better options of getting them without reaching too high. So let's look at the trade. So the first one, I'm not trading out of the first round completely, so this is out. Pick 29, a 3rd rounder next year, and a 7th rounder this year. Not the best sounding. I'm not trading out of the first. 2 years from now first, no thank you. Next year first, next year. I mean, a lot of stuff for next year, but I don't want to trade out of the first round. I think Derek Newman is going to be a quality player. I want to make sure we can land him. Nope, not trading out of the first. Not trading out of the first. This one is a 1st rounder this year. It's at 26, and a 7th rounder next year. 2nd round pick 41. Nope, not trading out. Not trading out. No. Okay. Eagles. This is pick 27. A 3rd rounder next year as well, plus a 6th rounder and a 7th rounder next year. We don't really need another 7th rounder this year, but adding a bunch of picks next year, that's really intriguing to me. 1st rounder, no, and no. Okay, so I'm pretty sure, because this is a couple picks later, which is fine, but then we're also getting a 6th round pick next year with the 7th next year instead of this year from the Eagles, and I sort of like that package better. I just want to make sure I didn't skip over anything. I don't think I did. Yeah, no, that's just, yeah, if we can get a 3rd rounder out of this, I'm not going to say no to that. No. I think the Eagles is the best choice here. It only drops us down a few spots. It gives the Eagles a chance to leapfrog somebody for a player they want, and we pick up some really good draft capital for next year, which will, of course, give us more wiggle room, whether it's trading or trading like in general and during the season, or if it's trading down or up next year. So I like that as an option. And we don't have anybody else that I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get Derek Newman, and I'm just trying to make sure that the Rams don't take him like the mock draft says so. So we're going to take this from the Eagles, and we're going to hope that everything works out my way. So we have next pick. They came up for, Javier Beltran. So they came up for Beltran, the receiver. It's the 2nd receiver taken, I believe. Yeah, Justin Wynn was the 1st one to the Commanders. So the Commanders did not take 2 left tackles, which is awesome to hear. They end up getting a receiver for Jaden Daniels. Nice to see. Now looking back at it, everything went the same way. The Chiefs got Nathan Forbes, so they're going to have another great tight end. Zane Phelps ended up going to the Colts. Yep. Okay. So yeah, everything went the way we expected it to. Now we just need 2 more picks to go the way that we expect them to. And now the Browns go Javier Estrada. That was one of the top linebackers. He wasn't somebody that we had a lot of unlock on, but he was on the SAM. He was one of the higher picks for the SAM. And he is going already. So hopefully that means the Raiders, they stick to, Brian Sinclair goes as well. So that was the other center that I was considering at some point. But we are on the board. We are not taking another chance at trading down. We are going to stay and pick, and we are going to make Derek Newman our first round pick of our second offseason. A Mike linebacker, 22 years old, out of Auburn. We need depth and or not even depth. We also need just youth and future players at this position. Let's go ahead and let's make Derek Newman our first pick. There is the pick. It is a B-. So he was ranked number 42. Okay, so we reached a little bit. Shows good speed for a linebacker, smart, heady defender, and dependable tackler. Here's 90 speed and 91 excel, and this is why I had him so high on my list. I had a feeling he was going to be one of these fast dudes, and we get ourselves a very fast linebacker, good strength. Change of direction's not bad either. 74, that's pretty good for a linebacker, is it not? I'll take it. And there is our first round pick. Alrighty, we are back. It is our second pick. It's the 24th pick in the second round, and let's take a look and see who is available. I see that Phil White went. That's a tongue twister. But I do not see Cam Melvin. Now, was he already selected before the end of the first round is the question. He was not. Casey Johnson is still here. I'm a little surprised that Cam Melvin lasted this far into the draft, to be honest with you. I feel like I got to take him. I didn't anticipate, the back end of the second round is a great spot for us to take a tight end right now. We don't know what Mason Taylor's bringing to the table. His overall is great for a 23-year-old. I'm not saying that, but he's normal development. He hasn't really taken over games or made huge strides. Like, if you guys watched the Panthers franchise last year, what's his name? He came in and immediately, even at like a 74 overall, you could feel his presence on the field. And we're just not getting that from Mason Taylor. Can we get that from a guy like Cam Melvin? And the fact that he fell to us down at the bottom end of the second round, it's almost too good to be true. It's like, why wouldn't I take him? So you know what? We're gonna do it. I wasn't anticipating this, taking a tight end in the second, but when Cam Melvin drops, I'm BPA, and that's the kind of guy I am when it comes to drafting. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take Cam Melvin at the back end of the second round. 6'6", 260-pound tight end. He's got a lot of A's. He's got some really good physicals. Great, good, awesome to see. Second fastest tight end. Let's make Cam Melvin the next New York Jet. B- again. He was ranked number 39, so he was technically apparently better than Derek Newman by a few. He was number 42. So we get him at 56. Former high school power forward. Hey, you guys know the rule. If a tight end used to play college basketball or high school basketball, he's going to be a Hall of Fame tight end. Soft hands, good speed for a tight end. Let's see this. 85 speed, 88 excel. That is some really good stuff. Not the fastest we've seen. We've seen some guys that come out of here with 90-something speed, but that is a good speed for a tight end, especially at that size. 77 change of direction, 81 agility, 83 jumping. Would like to see that in the 90s, but I will take it. He's 6'6". He doesn't have to jump that high anyway. And he's hidden development. Awesome stuff. All right, now we are here at the top of the third round, and we have a few picks here. We have a 1, 2, 3 third-round picks. So we have got some choices to make here. I think this might be a good spot where we could start taking the day 3 prospects that we unlocked information on. Maybe not. Well, yeah, because I don't want to lose out on them. Casey Johnson is still here. Now, I know it says rounds 2 to 3 talent, but like, I guess when I see that, I assume like they're going to go back end round 2, especially if they're a good player. And I don't remember seeing things with him that would indicate that he's not a good player and he's a bust. I mean, we know his talent is in this range. He doesn't have the best acceleration or speed, but he's got a lot of B's. C in man and zone, so we know we'll at least have somewhat of decent protection when it comes to covering in the zone coverage and whatnot. Injury is not an F, we know that. And I did not anticipate. I mean, let's think about this for a second here, because yes, we have Newman and we have that other Newman, right? We don't know what the other Newman, the one we brought in free agency, is going to do. We know Newman has some good potential potentially to be a starter for us down the line. We need more than one linebacker. Sherwood is going to be 28. Williams is over 30. Bentley's over 30. This might not be a bad decision to just go ahead and take Casey Johnson, double down at linebacker, and hope for the best. I mean, we know that's one of our weak spots, was linebacker. I don't mean like currently a weak spot, but I can see that it would be an issue if we don't address it soon. We have so many picks here that I feel like I can still get these guys, but it's going to be a risk, because I was considering going Merritt here, just taking him right away, but we do have a pick coming up soon at pick 69. So we could take Johnson, because he should have been gone based off of his projection. Of course, he should be going in this area. And Archer Brayton just went, which is another Mike linebacker. So I'm assuming that means Casey Johnson is probably the next linebacker at Mike, which just indicates that he's going to be taken next if there's a Mike to go. Yeah, and everybody else is day 3 and after. So this is the guy that if we want to take another linebacker, we're going to have to take him here, and I don't want to risk losing him. Whereas I don't want to risk losing Merritt either, but he's a day 3 prospect where he might not get, he's less likely to be chosen right now. So this is a risky play, but I think we're going to double down on linebacker. Let's go Casey Johnson here out of Tennessee. He's 22 years old, and let's hope that we can hit a good linebacker twice here and really, you know, just solidify that position going forward for years to come. Because now with the other Newman and the other Newman we just drafted, that is 3 young linebackers that we can build off of, or at least get chances with to see. And we need 3 linebackers to start. So let's do it. We're going to double down on Casey Johnson. He falls to us at the beginning of the 3rd. Let's see if it makes sense. B+. He was ranked number 54, which means him and Newman should be pretty close when it comes to their overalls, and we got him at number 66. High football IQ, possesses good feet or good speed, and wrap up and drag down tackler. 86 speed, 85 excel, not as fast as Newman, but that's still very good speed. 71 change of direction. Okay, I'm happy with that. He is normal, so there's that. But you know, we still got a good linebacker, I feel like. We'll see how it plays out afterwards, but I'm happy with it. And now linebacker, as long as these guys pan out eventually in the next year or two, we're good there. All right, so luckily for us, Merritt was not taken in those 3 picks, which is what I was hoping. So we're not going to risk it anymore. We're going to take Terrell Merritt, top 5 talent corner on day 3 projection here at the beginning of the 3rd round. And that's going to make our corner room now a strength of ours, I think. 6'3", 186. Let's do it. Terrell Merritt, A-. He's ranked number 4 in the entire class. We get him at pick 69. Elite speed, smart, heady defender, good feel and IQ in zone coverage. He is hidden development. Awesome. 95 speed. I didn't think he was going to be that fast, guys, at 6'3". I thought maybe like 92, 91. That's still really fast for a tall corner, but 95 speed at 6'3". That's awesome. Okay, so we're here at the back end of the 3rd round, and we have another pick coming up in the 4th round. And I think what I want to do here is go to favorites. I think I want to get Beckett taken here before a run on lineman goes. The reason I say that is because even though I really want Dexter Wall, I really want some receivers, I can understand that it's not that big of a need. It's more so my own prerogative and what I want. But Beckett, I want to be able to take one of our guards that we drafted last year or picked up last year and move them to center, so we potentially have 3 really good young players in the middle of the line. And I'm fully aware that this guy is round 1 to 2 talent. So this way I don't have to play the guessing game with a lineman. We can get it out of the way. And then the rest of the draft is really just finding deals and finding players. So I'm going to take Jonathan Beckett here. And then hopefully, with our luck that we've had so far today working, Dexter Wall will be available at the 4th round pick, and we will take him then. So Jonathan Beckett, 6'3", 337 pounds, A awareness, A impact block. He is 22 years old from Missouri. He is coming to New York. Let's make it official. And Jonathan Beckett is a B-. He's a number 30. So he is the top 32 player in this draft, and we got him at pick 88. Very capable run blocker, uses power to drive defenders back in the run game. Mental lapses are too frequent. So obviously he's going to have some stuff to work on. That's why he's a day 3 prospect, and we're picking him at the back end of the 3rd round. But he's got 92 strength. He's hidden development. That is awesome. 77 excel, 63 speed. So that's actually some really good acceleration for a big man like that, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of times you see these bigger guys, they have like acceleration in the 60s, sort of like his speed is. But we'll take it. Change of direction is not really good, if anything, 55. But again, he's a 337-pound lineman, so you get what you get, you know? And now we find ourselves at rounds 4, pick 16, and it is time for us to take Dexter Wall. He landed here with us. He does not get taken. Let's make it official, and let's get Dexter Wall here so I can have my young 6'4" receiver that I've been wanting. This is more like a luxury pickup for me, right? Like, we have Johnston, but like, gotta draft a receiver, guys. Gotta draft a guy, you know? So we know what we were getting with him. He's 21 though, which is a great find. I love finding the guys who are 21, gives us an extra year of development with them. And Dexter Wall is officially a New York Jet. He is a B- pick, number 40. So very close to a 1st round grade completely when it comes to the overall talent. We picked him up at number 112. Strong hands to make catches through contact, reliable hands, and comes down with toughest catches. That is what we need. That is what I've been saying we need, is we need the guy that goes up, climbs it up, gets that ball at the top, and brings it in for some big plays for us. So we get Dexter Wall. That's awesome. All right, I was looking through the prospects here. We're still at the pick 17. I haven't simmed anything, but now that we've gotten the guys that we've really been targeting on our list, and we've gotten those guys, I want to start looking at the other positions I mentioned. Free safety being one of them. We don't have one on the roster outside of Hicks right now. I want to make sure we bring a guy in. And I found a guy here in Carlos Winter, who is 6'1", 219 out of Clemson. He's a day 3 prospect. He's 21 years old. Again, you know I like when we get these guys who are only 21, so we get that extra time to develop them. And he has a B in play rec, a lot of C's, but also a B in catching and an A in hit power. Not a bad unlock for what we can see. And for a day 3 prospect to get in the 4th round, this is a decent return, or a decent, I was looking at kick return. This is a decent prospect to pick up at this point and see if we can turn into something down the line. Now, he is run support currently. I'm fine with that. We can work on that if we want to make him strong safety, or if we want to keep him at free safety. But I like this move here. Physical player who delivers bone-crushing hits. He struggles to find the ball in the air, has a motor that runs through the whistle, often looks to rip the ball from the runners, and he does have lax discipline, which is fine. But hey, a Clemson safety in the 4th round with an A at hit power, and he's average with the coverages. So now that I have gotten to the point where like I sort of like this guy, I don't know if he's going to last or if he's going to go soon, right? There are other safeties in front of him, but I don't see any of them with B's. Like if you look above him, there is tackle and hit power B's, right? But he's got B play rec. He's got solidified catching and hit power. We don't know what his tackling is. But there's guys that are potentially not as good with the grades, and I don't want somebody else to snatch him up. So this is where we might end up doing a trade up to try to get another 4th round pick. The only question is, who the heck do I trade with? I'm going to go and try to find a trade partner, and then I will see you guys when or if I do that. So I tried trading up with the Broncos, but they wanted too many picks, essentially. They didn't care about any of our players. Commanders didn't really care, but the Falcons have their number 1 need as a halfback, and I checked. They don't need a starter, but they don't have any depth. They have Bijan Robinson, a rookie they drafted last year, and that is it. So obviously we know Algier went to the Browns. We saw that in the playoffs. But they don't have anybody else with Bijan, so they want depth. And what do we have? We actually have depth at running back. Depth that we don't need. So what I'm going to try to do is see if I can put something together for the Falcons and hope that that works. This is what we're going to do. We're going to sim to the Falcons because I know I can't trade up with the Broncos or Commanders based off of what they're asking. Not that I can't. I just don't want to. Okay? Well, let me see. As long as he doesn't go before the Falcons, we're going to stop and we're going to try to make a play with the Falcons. So, next pick, Tom Piercy, edge defender. And then the Commanders go Oscar Vasquez, another safety. Not our safety, not the one I was looked at, but a safety. So let's go in now and see if I can get a trade done with the Falcons. So the Falcons, like I said, they have halfback as their number one need. Not sure why. But let me think. If they have Robinson, I know they drafted a power back. I'm wondering if they wouldn't mind a guy like Isaiah Davis. He's only 25, right? Or Donovan Edwards. One of the two. Both of them, I think, would be, you know, this one at least gives him a cheaper option than Donovan Edwards, and he has a 2-year contract still. He's a 73 overall young halfback. Maybe this is what they're looking for. I don't know. So we're going to offer them him, and then we're going to go here, and I'm looking for their 4th round pick. And then I'm going to give them a 6th round pick this year and maybe a 6th rounder next year. See if that works. I don't want to go. I don't want to lose our 4th and 5th round picks right now because I might still want to make some moves. So I don't want to give up picks right now. I just want to get a pick. So we might have to overpay a little bit because I mean, yeah, I know Davis isn't the greatest player, but he's still 25. He adds exactly what they need, and we give him 2 picks for it. And they're both, well, one's this year and one's next year. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see if they take it. Who knows? There we go. They take it. Isaiah Davis going to the Falcons, and we have their 4th round pick now, and we can go ahead and we can make the selection of the safety that I was looking at, which is Carlos Winter. 6'1", 219 out of Clemson. He is 21 years old, and he is coming on with the New York Jets to hopefully be a great depth piece and potentially future starter for us. Carlos Winter. C pick. Okay. Well, how is it a C pick if he was number 68 in true talent or true value? Big hitter, instinctive zone defender, consistent tackler. He is normal development. Okay, but 91 speed is not bad. 86 agility, 83 change of direction, 78 jumping. So I'm happy with that. All right, so now we are back on the board. Let's see if there are some people we can find here. I want to see if there is anybody at all positions that still has good grades on them for... Okay, we have rounds 3 to 4 for Benson, Walt, Dale. Just a bunch of receivers. But there is a couple of guys who are rounds 2 to 3 talents, so they are better than what they are. Okay, that's the last of it too. So these are all the guys we have right now that we know the talent of. We have Brandon Dell and Bryce Rushing, both rounds 2 to 3 talent. Brandon Dell is 21. He is 6 foot, but we already got Dexter Wall, right? So Bryce Rushing, if I didn't have Wall, I would definitely take Bryce Rushing right now. But let's just see. So C to D awareness is the same. Carrying is worse for Dell, so Rushing has the advantage there. Dell has the advantage ball carrier. Break tackle is the same. Stiff arm same. Spin move better for Rushing. I don't know if Dell's going to be better or worse, or the same or worse than Rushing. Same for catching. Catching traffic goes to Rushing. Spectacular catch goes to Rushing. Short route running. Medium route goes to Dell. Same deep route. B is okay. So Rushing seems to be the better prospect right now. Gotta be some other stuff down here, right? Oh, okay, here we go. I don't care about run blocking. Do not care at all. Return ability. That's something to also consider. You never know there. A to B kick return. So he would also give us return ability. Injury is stamina is an A. Injury is C to D. So we know his stamina is better. His injury is either going to be the same or better than Bryce Rushing because we already have a guy in Dexter Wall. Bryce Rushing is the other one. 6'4", 228. He's 22 years old. Solid acceleration, good speed. It says he's fast, but I think the physicals, like for the ratings themselves, like on the left side, like right above here, I think this is what it is. These numbers half the time seem to be for show nowadays. Because the last receiver, it said, had great acceleration, right? And good speed. He was 14th, like mid the teens for his 40 time. But yeah, and this guy is 6th and only has solid on that and good speed. So you would think he would have great or elite speed then if he's 6th in 40 yards and the other one was like middle of the teens. So I don't really understand, but that's why I sort of don't look at that portion, this portion. I look at this up here. I think with the kick return abilities, if we're going to go with another receiver, since we have the talent unlocked, I'd rather go with Brandon Dell, because right now we have Taj Bryant as our returner, and he's been great, but if I continue to develop him and he plays on the field for us, I'd rather have him play there than have to be a returner as well. And now we would have another receiver that could be like the guy we're building up and the guy that can be the returner while Bryant works on just becoming a receiver. So we're going to go with Brandon Dell here. Now, like I said, we don't need this receiver, but we've hit on most of the areas that I already wanted to hit on with the guys we unlock. So now we're just sort of filling in the blanks with guys that we find. And this is the last little bit of guys that we know enough on to make a call in the field, and Brandon Dell is one of them. So let's go ahead and let's take Brandon Dell here, 6 foot, 208 from Mount Union, and make him a New York Jet. C, okay, so another C. Pick number 79, so not bad at all. All right, we have back-to-back picks here at the top of the 5th round. Let's see if there is somebody that strikes my interest now that we are in the 5th round. All right, so now that we're past and just into the mess around phase, let's go through some of these players now that are just still left and see if we can find anybody like I did last year. So awareness, Clayton Gaddis at the top, Joey Reddick, Shaq Clifton, carrying Cliff Ridgeway, Gio Dunn, Clayton Gaddis, Joey Reddick. Ball carrier vision, Jose Jones, Javon Timmons, Cam Weston, Cliff Ridgeway, Joey Reddick, okay. Break tackle, Jose Jones, Mac McCoy, Clayton Gaddis. Trucking, of course, Ridgeway. Gaddis is up there for trucking? He's a 188-pound running back. How does he have a B in trucking? I guess Mac McCoy has a C, but I mean, he's at least 210. It sort of makes more sense. Gio Duhan, Joey Reddick, Cliff Ridgeway, Gio Dahan, Jeff Turner, Cam Weston. I'm just trying to see if I can find the guys that are up here consistently, you know what I mean? Turner, Brandon Felton, Clayton Gaddis again. Clayton Gaddis and Brandon Felton. I'm seeing a lot of Gaddis up towards the top of the list here. Yeah, here he is, top 3 again. Yep, here he is again. Let's take a look at Gaddis once and see. So he's a receiving back. That is one thing we actually do not have is just a receiving running back. 5'9", 188. Oh, he's got elite acceleration and elite change of direction. Good speed, so not the fastest, but shifty. Okay, let's see. A to C and catch. So this man can catch. That is definitely somebody that I want to keep an eye on here. Clayton Gaddis. Okay, we'll come back to that. He's an undrafted guy. The only guy left here at edge that is worthwhile of anything, and I don't know if I didn't see him because I wasn't paying attention, but Dion Johnson has a B in finesse and power moves. He's considered a power rusher, C's in awareness and play rec, C tackling, not the best everywhere else, but a lot of like mid to low end stuff. He's another UDFA, but he is a defensive end. 6'3", 267. He's got decent size to him. He's 22. Great acceleration, great speed, elite change of direction. Injury is C to F. Play rec, but I like that. He's got a lot of C's, but the fact that his moves are B's is really... I like that. I'm going to have to keep an eye on him, too. That's another UDFA guy. We don't need a defensive tackle. Oh, look at this. We did have some unlock here. Sean Toon. I must have overlooked this guy too. Dude. Well, Sean Toon is another linebacker. Do we really need a third linebacker? But he's another UDFA, so I just want to check him out. But he has B's and A's. It says that he went up a spot, so maybe he was rising up the boards or something. I don't know. I don't remember him, though. We do have a guy here with Julius Simmons. He has a B in man coverage, not in zone. A couple of guys here with B's, actually. We have Enrique Castaneda and Johnny Marion. Let's just take a look. First guy here is Julius Simmons, 6'1", 212 out of Wisconsin. That's what I'm talking about, Wisconsin, baby. I say, let me just pick a few of these guys up that I've been seeing. So who was the one? Let's do Deion Johnson, this UDFA. Because he's one of the few guys that actually sort of fit us a little bit when it comes to, I mean, he's a power rusher, but he does still have B finesse. So if anything, it's going to be a few ticks better for power moves. Let's take a flyer on him, man. This seems like a sleeper pick. B, power move, B, whatever. C minus. Okay, so he's actually more of a round 5 pick. 122, 132. 122 rank, 132 selection. Sheds blocks with ease, pass rush plan starts, okay. Player profile, 83 speed, 85 excel, not that bad. 85 strength, that's pretty good for a power rusher, I think, especially in the 5th round. Normal development, but hey, it gives us another young defensive end to potentially work with, so we'll take it. Since we have back-to-back picks here, am I crazy for just tripling up on linebackers? Sean Toon is chilling. We know he's rounds 3 to 4. I don't know how I must have missed him before we were looking at the list. Oh, because he probably isn't in the top 100 because it was a couple rounds ago. That's why. I'm a thinker. But anyway, he's rounds 3 to 4 talent. He's sitting here in UDFAs. We have a back-to-back pick. Let's just take him. I mean, worst case scenario, we have a linebacker we cut. Best case scenario, we found another sleeper. And I feel like we found a sleeper here with this guy. He's number 83 in talent, and we got him at 133. Great speed to cover and track down tackles, consistent tackler, average recognition skills. Normal development, but 86 speed, 89 excel, so still pretty good speed for a linebacker. Not a bad pick. Since we drafted 2 receivers, I decided I was starting to sim a couple of picks and see, but I want to try to go back up and get like that safety or like one of those safeties or a running back that we looked at, like Gaddis, or there was one other game that was sort of kept popping up. But I want to take a a deeper look at some of those guys before we get too far into the draft and see if there's a little bit more, another gem or two there. And we don't need any more players, so I said, screw it. We got 2 receivers. The Titans were on the board. Their receiver was number 3, so I sent them Jahan Dotson, who is a decent gap filler. He's not going to wow you with anything, but we saw him make a couple of plays for us. We got their 5th round pick, and I also sent them our 7th round pick this year. So we move up. We have another pick here in the 5th round, and I want to take a look and see. I'm going to be honest, though. Simmons going to Wisconsin literally puts him at the top of the list for me. I love Wisconsin. I'm a Wisconsin guy. That's my college team. Bringing a guy from Wisconsin in is something I would definitely want to do. Julius Simmons, strong safety, number 84 in true value. We drafted him at number 136, and his player profile, another normal development, but 90 speed, 92 acceleration. We will take that. I am happy with that selection. And now we have one last pick, I believe. And this is where there was a few running backs that we were looking at. I was very intrigued by Clayton Gaddis, because when I was going through the list, I was seeing his name a lot, and he is a receiving back, which is something we don't see a whole lot of. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take Clayton Gaddis, 5'9", 188 from Northwestern. Doesn't have the best ball carrier vision, but if he can help us out of the backfield as like a gadget player, that could be big for us. And he's B minus. A lot of these running backs are like, that's not even surprising. There's so many good running backs in these draft classes that usually in like the 6th, 7th round, you can find a guy that's like somewhere between like, a 70 to 75 overall, just randomly put there. This might be one of them. And he's a receiving back. Looks comfortable as a receiver. That makes sense to me. Player profile, 91 speed, 95 acceleration. No. Okay. Yeah. So overall, very happy with Clayton Gaddis. And that is I think that is the rest of our, oh no, we still have one more draft pick. I don't even know who to take. Here's something that I never thought I would say. Why don't we draft a long snapper? Long snappers are people too, right? This guy is first in every category. I honestly forgot this was even a draftable position until I just accidentally found it skimming through players. But why not take a long snapper? Maybe he'll end up being good. Let's take Zach Manley here. Number 105 in true talents. Okay, look at that. And his agility a rating of 60. So they don't know how to put the long snapping thing in there yet. But hey, we've drafted a long snapper. We got a lot of players. We're negative cap room. We have so many players. Okay, here we go. Holy moly, I see an 80. All right, I don't see a lot of high overall players. A lot of low 70s, but hey, we don't. You're not going to always get a bunch of 78 overalls. We got Derek Newman, who's a 73. I'm a little surprised he's that low. Cam Melvin, a 74. Casey Johnson, a 72. Terrell Merritt was the guy to find. We knew that he was a top 5 talent. He's 80 overall. Jonathan Beckett, 74. Dexter Wall, 74. Carlos Winter, a 71. Dell, a 70. Johnson was a 68. Toon and Simmons, both 70s. Gaddis was a 73. And Zach Manley, a 69. Overall, don't have a ton of like very top-end talent from the draft, but I'm very happy with all... I'm happy right now. We have a ton. This is like the first like real draft of my regime with the Jets, if you think about it. We were working with all assets from the regular New York Jets last year, and now we have, like, I'm the one who sort of put together a lot of these draft picks. I'm the one who has made moves in the past year to adjust the team accordingly. This is like the first like real like draft class that I've had full control of since we really just simmed the first season, and I'm happy with it. We got so much. Like, this right here, all these players, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 players. We did end up taking 13 players. This is like the nucleus of what we are building here for the long haul. I'm happy with it. Let's take a look at some of these guys now, and let's see if they are good. So Derek Newman, we know, is 73. He's normal development. That sort of bothered me a little bit when I saw it, but I mean, it is what it is. I did not anticipate a round 1 guy like that being normal, but you're going to have that. 85 hit power, awesome to see. Zone is 65, man is 60. So not the best zone and man there, but it's workable. Cam Melvin, this was a guy that fell to us. He's hidden development. I didn't really think he would last as long as he did, but he did. 85 speed, 79 catching, 88 excel. Deep route needs some tremendous work. Short route is not bad. Change of direction's not bad. Injury's very good. Love to see that. Okay. Casey Johnson, another linebacker that we picked up. And he's got 61 zone and 53 man. So definitely not a zone defender, but we can work on that. 81 hit power, 75 block shedding. That's pretty good. 73 play rec is not bad either to start things out. I will take it. Normal development, but hey, you know, it is what it is. You're going to have those from time to time. You can't always have hidden developments everywhere. Terrell Merritt. Now, this was the find of the draft for us. This was the corner we picked up. 6'3", 186, hidden development, 95 speed, 86 zone coverage, only 72 man. So even though he's a very good player, definitely not the most balanced player. Very fast, very quick. Tackling and man definitely need to be worked on. Jonathan Beckett, this was the guard. He is hidden development, 74 overall, not balanced whatsoever. 66 agile, 63 pass pro. I had a feeling he was going to be very heavily in the power game, but that just gives us something to work on. 92 strength, you're never going to pass that up. I am happy with that. Dexter Wall, this is the guy that I really wanted. You guys know it. Dexter Wall, 6'4", 233, 21. I like the speed and acceleration aspect of his game given his size. 86 catch in traffic, 86 spectacular catch, 94 jumping. Carlos Winter, this was the free safety. Normal development, 6'1", 219. 71 zone, not the best there. Man coverage, not the best. Good acceleration, decent hit power. Block shedding needs some work. Play rec needs some work. 92 injury, I see. That's awesome. I don't think this is too bad of a pickup here. I think that's a quality player. I will be going through, by the way, this is something I got to tell you guys. Okay, sometimes, I think last year somebody complained about this. And I don't think they were being very like, oh my God, this is horrible, but they made a comment about it. And a few people have done in the past. I have very particular things that bother me with this game. Okay, one of them being is heads that don't match the player's body and repeated faces. So Madden has this problem where they'll give us 300 faces to use, but they'll only use like 60 of them with all of their draft prospects. I don't like that. I think it's stupid. I don't like having a bunch of the same faces everywhere. Sometimes it's fine to use the face if it matches the player. But like Derek Newman here, he does not look like a linebacker. His head, if you look, it looks like he's wearing a turtle shell. You know, I don't like that. I'm probably going to change his face. Obviously going to change his number. Cam Melvin's not bad. Johnson's not bad. Terrell Merritt, no, he was fine. Jonathan Beckett. Dexter Wall's another one. I've seen this face so many times. His face is going to get changed. And I just do that, guys. I'm not doing it to be weird, man. I'm not doing it to upset anybody. I just cannot stand looking at the same faces and having like helmets that are super tiny comparative to the bodies, or the vice versa. The head is way too big for the body. I don't like that stuff. So I change it, and I'm going to do that. I'm probably going to do that as soon as I finish recording here. But that doesn't make a difference because this is our team here, and you guys are going to like them no matter what their face is. Okay. Brandon Dell. This was another guy. Hidden development. And he's got some good stuff. 91 agility, release needs work, short route, medium route. He's much better route runner actually than that of Dexter Wall. He just doesn't have the catch in traffic and spectacular catch that he does, or the jumping. And then Deion Johnson, 68 overall, not the best find, but I'm curious. So he has 75 power moves and 71 finesse moves. That's not bad to work with, okay? That's not as lopsided as you see a lot of these guys. So we'll take it. Not too bad of a play there. He has 78 injury, though. So that might be a problem right there. That might be a damn problem. Sean Toon, another 70 overall. This is going to be really good depth for us to have at linebacker. I'm probably revamping our entire linebacking core this preseason, man. I'm excited. I am excited here. Simmons, 70. Gaddis is a 73. I want to see how good of a catcher this guy is, because I feel like this guy is good at catching. Yeah, 76 catching. I'm happy with this. I really like this draft class, guys. Let me know what you guys think down below with this class. We have a lot of players, man. There's going to be a lot of things that have to be changed going into this season. We're negative cap because of all the players we have. I'll fix that, of course. That's not a problem. But, man, a lot of new faces coming to the Jets. I can't wait to get the preseason started. If you could hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on that bell notification, I will see you guys next time.